Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're venturing into the, let's say, fascinating and sometimes pretty unsettling world of early internet mysteries.
Right.
This actually came from a listener who was curious about those, digital enigmas, the ones that still kind of linger in the corners of the web.
Yeah, the ones you stumble upon and think, wait, what was that?
Exactly. So we pulled together a bunch of stuff from our Reddit discussion users, sharing the weirdest, most persistent online mysteries they remember.
And what's so cool, or maybe creepy about these, is they're like a snapshot of the early internet, right?
Totally.
Fewer rules, more anonymity, and that line between online and offline, much blurrier.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the variety is just wild. We're talking disturbing websites that just vanished,
Yeah, poof.
strange online personalities,
Yep.
people disappearing with weird digital footprints,
Yep.
creepy videos with no explanation.
Just huge complex puzzles like Cicada 3A301.
Right. And just, who was that person who created Bitcoin? Stuff like that.
Lingering questions.
So the mission today is to dig into a few key examples, try to figure out why they grab people's attention, and maybe, why some are still unanswered.
Sounds good. Where should we start? The dark stuff.
Yeah, let's kick things off with a really shocking sites that just disappeared. Kind of sets the scene for the early web.
Okay, so there was this one Reddit user, totally natty AF, who remembered finding howtobeserialkiller.com,
Ooh, yeah.
and they described it as having genuinely disturbing content, like instructions on zip tie strangulation, tips on choosing random victims. Really dark.
Grim.
But the really weird part, it just vanished and was replaced with this super ominous message.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading about that. What was it again?
If you're really interested in killing someone, why don't you start with yourself?
Chilling.
Yeah.
Just in, wow, what do you even make of that? A change of heart? Pressure?
Who knows? That's the mystery, right? It leaves you wondering about the creator. And it wasn't isolated, apparently.
No.
Another user, though their account is deleted now, mentions similar sites, like how to make and sell myth for free home for a quickprofit.org.
Seriously.
Yeah, it paints a picture of this, like, unregulated digital frontier, almost lawless.
It really makes you think about stumbling onto that kind of stuff back then.
Yeah,
No content warnings, just boom.
exactly. And the challenge of moderating anything like that, especially then, almost impossible. The ease with which they could appear and disappear just adds to that lingering unease.
Yeah, definitely a different era online. Okay, let's shift a bit from vanished sites to real lives getting tangled up with digital mysteries.
Right, where the screen kind of melts away.
Like the Chipchan case.
Okay.
A South Korean woman convinced she was being spied on, constantly live streaming her life.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing updates about her. The belief was she thought some cop named P had chipped her foot.
That's the story. And was constantly watching her. It strongly points towards, potential mental health issues.
Very likely. Schizophrenia was mentioned in some threads.
And even though her public stream stopped, apparently she continued streaming elsewhere. It raises so many questions.
It really does. About online observation, about vulnerability, exploitation. It's complex.
You watch someone's life unfold, but what's the dynamic there? Are you connecting or just watching?
Yeah.
Especially if they might be unwell.
It's a heavy one. And that boundary is so easily blurred online, her situation just feels unresolved, unsettling.
Then there's the really disturbing one, the 4chan serial killer.
Yeah, that one's properly grim.
Someone posting photos claiming they were of murder victims.
And the horrifying part, as users recalled, was that authorities seemed to confirm they were likely real. Because
Yeah.
they lacked the usual markers you'd see in crime scene photos released by police, suggesting the photographer was the killer.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then the killer apparently threatened to return after getting attention, FBI involved, and then just vanished.
A real-world crime playing out on 4chan.
It's a stark example of anonymity being weaponized, isn't it? The
Yeah.
real-world danger behind the screen.
And the fact that attention seemed to drive them underground. It's like the internet both exposed and protected them somehow.
A double-edged sword, for sure.
Okay, let's pivot slightly. Something maybe less immediately horrifying, but still weird. Ted's caving blog
Ah, yes. Ted the Caver. A classic.
started out looking like a totally real blog, right?
Yeah.
Some guy exploring caves, documenting it all.
Yeah, very detailed, very convincing. And it ends so abruptly.
That line, I'll let you know what I find, and then Nothing.
Radio silence.
Yeah,
But then it became clear, or at least widely accepted, that it was fictional.
right. It's now considered prime creepypasta, internet horror folklore.
Exactly.
What's interesting there is how it straddled that line. Was it real? Was it fake?
And that ambiguity is probably why it worked so well. It tapped into that fear of the unknown, the claustrophobia, the what if.
It shows how powerful online storytelling can be, blurring fact and fiction to create genuine unease.
Definitely. A masterclass in building tension online.
Okay, moving on to just enigmatic content. Stuff that popped up with no clear reason why.
Yeah.
The 1-800 golf tip number.
Yes. Yes. That one's bizarre.
People would call, hear a countdown, and then...
Bam! A jump scare sound or a loud siren freak people out.
Totally. But the likely explanation is almost boring.
Yeah. The research tracing the number suggests it was probably some weird telemarketing thing, right? Lead generation.
Sounds about right. Using a weird gimmick to get phone numbers or something.
But because it was so random and startling and lacked context back then, it took on this mysterious life of its own.
Shows how even mundane commercial stuff can become folklore online if it's weird enough.
Absolutely. Context collapse.
Then there's blank room soup.
Oh, man. That video is just deeply unsettling.
The crying man, the weird Teletubby-like figures comforting him. Or maybe not comforting him.
Right, it's ambiguous,
Okay.
and the debate raged. Real torture video, elaborate art project, hoax.
There were rumors about stolen costumes, publicity stunts.
Yeah, some sources claim the original creator eventually said it was partly real, partly faked, maybe for some kind of promotion. It's still murky.
But why does something that bizarre get shared so much?
I think it's the sheer unsettling weirdness. It's unconventional, visually striking in a disturbing way, and the ambiguity just fuels speculation. It pushes boundaries.
Definitely memorable, not necessarily in a good way.
Not at all.
Okay, another weird video case. The Laughing Man.
Ah, the one linked to the girl's disappearance.
Yeah. Popped up on YouTube on the anniversary of her going missing. Just an older guy, staring, laughing menacingly. Super creepy timing.
Extremely creepy, and immediately people jump to conclusions off it.
Understandably. But then the explanation came out.
That the man was known to have mental health issues, lived nearby, but had absolutely no connection to the case.
Right. A tragic coincidence, basically. But it's such a stark reminder, isn't it, about jumping to conclusions online.
Oh, absolutely critical. Correlation is not causation. The speed information spreads online means misinterpretations can cause real harm. We have to be careful.
Definitely. Okay. Slightly less creepy. More
Okay.
odd. The St. Louis Zoo AZ video.
The kids' video with the weird music backstory.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Looks totally innocent, right? Alphabet Video, Zoo Animals.
Yep. But the music was credited to a Craig Austin who apparently didn't exist.
Exactly. Turns out it was Brian Nimmons, CEO of a stock music company called Sound Ideas, using music that had already been released elsewhere.
So why the pseudonym? Why use pre-released music that way?
Good questions. Maybe rights issues, maybe just compartmentalizing projects. Who knows?
It just shows, even in the simplest kids video online, there can be these hidden layers, weird business decisions, contractual stuff.
Nothing is always as simple as it looks online, I guess.
Seems that way.
And, okay, we have to mention this one because the user's memory was so vivid, even though the content is probably long gone. The Nutella Woman TikTok.
Oh, boy. I think I vaguely heard about this.
Yeah. Apparently a woman covered herself in Nutella and went around asking strangers to lick it off.
Okay. Yep, that's something.
The user remembered it so strongly. It speaks to how certain things, especially shocking or bizarre things, just stick in your memory online, even if they're unpleasant and disappear quickly.
Absolutely. Shock value definitely equals recall, for better or worse.
Hmm.
Viral content is a strange beast.
No kidding. Okay, let's shift gears again to the really big ones, the grand puzzles. Cicada 3301.
Ah, the big one. The Everest of internet mysteries for a while there.
Totally. These incredibly complex puzzles appearing online, 2012 to 2014? With later clues, too.
Right, and they weren't simple crosswords. We're talking heavy-duty cryptography, steganography, hiding messages in images or music.
Real-world clues, like posters appearing in different cities.
References to obscure philosophy, literature, Mayan numerals. The works. Insanely complex.
And the stated goal was recruiting highly intelligent individuals, which just set off a firestorm of speculation.
Oh, yeah. Is that the NSA? CIA? Some shadowy secret society? An eccentric tech billionaire? A game company? Everyone had a theory.
And largely, they remain unsolved, right? At least publicly.
The ultimate goal, who Cicada really is, still unknown. though a few people claim to have won the initial rounds.
Like that Marcus Warner guy who said he was asked questions about information freedom and privacy.
Right, which adds another layer. Were they hackers, activists, something else?
And the legacy is huge. It inspired TV shows, games, even a ransomware group apparently used the name recently.
It really captured the imagination, that allure of a hidden world, a secret test. It's potent.
It really is. That thrill of the unknown, the intellectual challenge.
Exactly, it tapped into something fundamental.
Okay, another big cryptic one. Lake City Quiet Pills. LCQP.
Ooh, yeah, that one takes a darker turn.
It started with a Reddit user around 2010 posting these weirdly coded messages about jobs, cleaning, packages. Seemed innocuous, maybe.
Until people rediscovered it later and started piecing things together, or trying to.
Yeah.
And this chilling theory emerged.
The assassination theory. That LCQP was some kind of retired mercenary coordinating hits via coded Reddit posts.
Yeah, fueled by clues like a photo of a deceased elderly man found online, somehow linked to it. Talk about drug dosages, this defunct website selling collectible coins that seems related.
Super creepy. And the interpretations were all over the place.
Right. Was it a government black op, an ARG, an alternate reality game that got way too real? Or just a very, very elaborate troll messing with people?
And then Reddit admins deleting the account just added more fuel to the fire.
Makes it seem like there was something to hide, whether it was true or not.
And that recent potential link. The 2023 connection to a real South African mercenary group from the 70s.
That just adds a whole new, disturbing dimension. Could it actually have been real?
It shows how easily we can build these dark narratives from ambiguous online fragments, right? But also, what if some narratives are true?
Exactly. That's the unsettling power of LCQP. It lives in that gray area between elaborate fiction and potentially terrifying reality.
Okay, final category. Lingering questions about who people were or what happened to them. Satoshi Nakamoto.
The ghost in the machine, the creator of Bitcoin.
Popped up online, shared the code, communicated a bit, then vanished. Pseudonymously.
And the speculation about who Satoshi is? Endless. One person, a group, a government agency trying to create untraceable currency.
There was that comment about a lead developer maybe meeting the CIA before Satoshi disappeared. Adds intrigue, though who knows if it's true.
It's almost baked into Bitcoin now, isn't it? The mystery creator. It reinforces that decentralized ideal, the creation transcending the creator.
Yeah, the anonymity is almost part of the brand.
Definitely.
Then a much sadder story. The Yay Video Games Reddit user.
Yeah. That one's rough.
Just an account spamming bizarre, repetitive comments.
Easy to dismiss as a bot or a troll, right?
Totally. Annoying maybe, but seemingly harmless digital noise.
Until another user dug into it and found the heartbreaking reality.
It was a real person. Someone suffering badly from chronic illnesses, severe mental health problems. And the posts were maybe a symptom of that suffering.
Yeah.
And they ultimately took their own life.
It's just a gut punch. A really powerful, sad reminder that there are real humans behind these accounts, often going through things we can't imagine.
Absolutely. Need for empathy online, right there.
Couldn't agree more.
And finally, the crypto queen YouTuber, someone making spooky videos who just disappeared around 2016, 2017.
Yeah, a user remembered her logo, even a specific collaboration, but couldn't find much trace of her now.
It highlights how ephemeral online content can be. Creators build followings, then just vanish. Platforms change, accounts get deleted.
And it leaves this weird void for the people who followed them, like an unfinished story. Why did they stop? Are they okay?
That parasocial relationship thing, you feel connected, then they're just gone.
Exactly. Another form of internet mystery, really. The mystery of the vanished creator.
So wrapping this all up,
Right.
we've covered a lot of ground. Unsettling websites, elaborate puzzles, people vanishing online or behind pseudonyms.
And what really stands out is how the early internet was this breeding ground for genuine enigma. That blurring of lines between real and fake was so much more pronounced.
Yeah, it sparks so much curiosity, speculation,
Yeah,
sometimes fear. And these stories stick around because they tap into something deep, right?
definitely. The desire for hidden knowledge, the thrill of a puzzle, maybe just fascination with the unknown. The slightly transgressive.
It's also like looking back at our relationship with technology as it was just getting started.
Yeah.
Figuring out the rules, the dangers, the possibilities.
A digital Wild West in many ways.
So here's a final thought to chew on. How have things changed? We've got way more surveillance now, tracking, huge platforms controlling everything.
Right. Is it harder for true internet mysteries, the really deep Kamnom Hindi for anonymous and known ones, to exist today?
Or are new kinds of mysteries just emerging, maybe hiding in different ways in encrypted spaces, or in plain sight using new forms of code?
That's the question, isn't it? This look back shows the internet always had secrets. Maybe the nature of those secrets is just evolving.
Definitely something to think about. We encourage you, if any of these caught your interest, dive in yourself. The digital rabbit hole, as we've seen today, goes deep.
Very deep, and often in unexpected directions.